Mr. EDGAR WRIGHT. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm great. Honored to speak with you. I'd love to start by talking about the new running man himself, Mr. Glen Powell. And so I heard that when you were first talking to Glen about this role, you pitched him the idea of wanting to see sort of like angry Glen.
Yes, I said I needed bad mood Glen.
Exactly. And so I was wondering what it was like to, because Glen is like a burgeoning star, and we haven't really seen this side of him before on film. And also we haven't seen like an aggressively hard-edged protagonist like this in your filmography before. So I'm wondering what it was like to work with Glen to craft this new persona, and also what it was like for you to tackle a harder-edged protagonist like this.
Well, I think it was that is very much the part of the Ben Richards from the book, that he has a lot of righteous kind of fury in him. He's somebody who's frustrated because he's been punished for doing the right thing and he's been held back in life. And you know, he lets it boil over because, you know, he sticks up for others and that's good. But obviously when he loses his temper, it makes him the prime candidate to be on the running man. So it's kind of his fatal flaw as well. And in working with Glen, I think he found it really liberating because he's such a charming kind of actor to, you know, to tap into kind of like a sort of a darker, angrier side. I think he really enjoyed it.
And I noticed that the running man also represents another first in your filmography, being the first to be fully shot on digital cameras. And I'm wondering if this might have been intentional because there's a lot of elements in digital culture that we can see reflected in the running man, with like constant consumerism, live streams, and just like surveillance culture in general. So I'm wondering if that factored into your decision process to shoot on digital, and if there was any unique challenges that came about with shooting fully digital.
Yeah, it's definitely like a practical decision because I think we needed to have so many different types of cameras that we would and we got so much location work and so many location moves that we'd be carrying like an enormous amount of kit. So I think because of the nature of the film, that there's the movie, there's what's on the drones, that's what's on the, you know, the shot on the TV, it felt like that was the way to go. But that doesn't mean that I've renounced 35mm. I'll be back.
From a story perspective, I imagine this must have been a really complex but also really rewarding experience to map out with your co-writer Michael Bacall, because there's so many things that you guys are doing here. Like you're synthesizing your own vision with the Stephen King novel, adapting and incorporating the rules and regulations of the game, having to shoot through many different locations, but also like maintaining a revolutionary sort of fervor, but also just trying to make like an accessible blockbuster movie. So I'm wondering for you, what was the hardest part to tackle with this film tonally?
I think everything you just said. I mean, I think that was the challenge and the joy of it was that I love the source material and I felt it could be made into an exciting sci-fi action film for our time. So, and also there's a sort of a really, you know, like deep streak of satire in the book. So that was a really fun thing to kind of like bring out even more. So it's an ambitious undertaking, but it was a joy to work on it.
Similarly to that, I was wondering what it was like to like map out the different specific sets and locations of this film, because you're building like Co-op City, you're building the whole world, but also there's like specific locations like the cabin that use a lot of very cool practical effects. So I'm wondering what it was like to put these on the page and then translate them to the screen, if there's any challenges that you found shooting in these unique locations.
Oh no, I mean, you know, probably the most complicated part of the entire film, aside from the action and the effects, was just the locations. I think in total, there's like 165 locations in the movie, because it's not just Ben Richards' story, but you've got all the adverts and the other shows and other game shows and that branding, and so we had to shoot all of that as well.
Colman Domingo in this film, such an eccentric supporting performance. I'm wondering what it was like pitching to Colman with this role of Bobby T, the game show host.
Oh, I mean, he grabbed it with both hands. As soon as we offered it to him, he goes, "Oh, this is great, I'm in." So it was amazing. I had this feeling about him that he would just kind of completely rip it up like he did. I think also because, you know, he's a Broadway and West End theatre veteran, that he would just be amazing playing that part. And he was so great, not only on screen, but just also kind of like whipping up the extras into a fervor was really great.
Like, you're known for your kineticism, I'd say, in a sense, but also this film is really good at just slowing down, which is kind of seems crazy because it's like a nonstop action chase to find Ben Richards, but also we get, like, I think this film really shines when you get to slow down with Ben Richards. So I was wondering, what was your approach to creating those kind of slower scenes?
Well, I guess in a way, like, you know, the game is like a strategy, because it's not just running, it's also hiding.
Right.
So he actually has, you know, in effect, if you're doing well on the game, you've got to kind of like a safe place where you can kind of just hide out for a moment. And obviously Ben is not used to necessarily having that much a chance to self-reflect, which he does because he has to talk on camera as well. So I think there was something very much in the book that I really wanted to bring to the screen as well.
Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Wright. It's
Thank
an honor
you.
to speak with you,
Thank you.
and all the best for The Running Man.
Thank you. Cheers.